Hi, I'm Mars Girl.
And I'm Josh Knight the First.
And welcome to episode 50 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover episode 50 of City Hunter, titled The Deadliest Enemy, Ryo and Kaori's Final Match, Part 1.
It's a two-parter to round out this season.
This is the penultimate episode right here.
Pretty crazy. I mean, it's penultimate for this season, but I don't think it's the biggest and boldest couple of episodes that ever happens in City Hunter.
No, I mean, compared to other episodes, we're gonna tell you guys right up front, there's very concentrated amounts of comedy, let's say, because the focus here is solely on action.
Action and drama.
Yes.
Really playing up what is the relationship between these two people?
Yeah, between these two people who have been living together for a while now, several months, the better part of a year, we'd argue, and there's been a connection made there between the two. The idea of them being partners, I think, goes a little bit further than business, I would argue.
Well, somebody might certainly hope so.
At least one person definitely does, and the other person is clearly masking.
Entirely possible.
So to go ahead and get right into it, we're going to start off this episode by bringing you all back to episode 5, because remember, Makimura's dead.
Kaori's not the first Makimura. That would have been her brother. If you don't remember the first few episodes we did, Makimura was kind of important.
He was City Hunter's original partner before Kaori, and then unfortunately, all the way back in episode 5, he got himself shot and killed.
Poor guy. So Kaori's been kind of living with this and probably masking her own trauma from that. Just trying to move on and live life as normal and live life maybe even the way she thinks that her brother was living his life.
Seeing as it's been less than a year since the event happened, for any person dealing with the loss of a sibling, that's gotta be incredibly rough. And so yeah, you would imagine that trauma would surface in different ways, and one of those ways would be in your dreams.
Yeah, so Kaori is dreaming right off the bat in this episode, dreaming of seeing her brother again out in the rain, and it was a rainy night when he died, and she runs up to him to meet him, and they go to hug each other, but then he sees from someplace we don't see behind Kaori, somebody is shooting. We don't ever see them because they're not really there because it's a dream. And
but he perceives some kind of threat, goes to cover, and then takes 5 shots in the back.
Which is probably more shots than he actually took in episode 5.
Because that's the thing, we didn't actually see him get shot, we just heard the shot.
You know, it's crazy. I don't know if maybe I brought this up in a previous episode, but a while back I was looking up these City Hunter pachinko machines. And before the most recent City Hunter film that was animated in 2019,
for Shinjuku Private
Eyes, there were some other kind of recent City Hunter animations that were made just for these pachinko machines, and they're just kind of trapped in these machines. So somebody has filmed these machines with their cell phones, and one of those scenes is recreating Makimura's death. And, you know, you see him drive up and he goes up to the guy that you know he does end up killing him, but it's like real gnarly. It's super gruesome.
It's very graphic.
It's super graphic. He gets really blown away. Like, it's bad.
Like, are we talking like, ooh, that's awful bad, or are we talking like Alex Murphy in the first couple of minutes of RoboCop bad?
It's getting up in that range.
Oh my god.
It's pretty bad. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is stuck on a pachinko machine somewhere.
And see, this is a thing that happens a lot with pachinko machines based on existing anime properties, is that they will reanimate certain scenes or make completely original animation for these pachinko machines that looks amazing, and you will never see it outside of a pachinko parlor.
And you can't get it out of that box. You can't get it out. You would have to, like, dismantle a whole pachinko machine and somehow upload that to a hard drive somewhere. I don't know anybody's ever done that. I don't think anyone's ever done that for these machines. And there's so much good animation in those machines. Somebody I know complained because they did the same thing to Ultimate Muscle. Well, not Ultimate Muscle. Kinnikuman.
Right.
The original Kinnikuman series. And they made a pachinko machine out of that. And then they reanimated, like, the whole opening in newer, fresher animation. And it's just stuck there. And you can only get it on, like, some cell phone footage while all these pachinko balls are, like, clank, 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 clank all over the place. And
pachinko machines are very noisy.
Super loud, and you're in a parlor, it's just You walk outside past the front doors and you can already hear it before the doors open, but if the doors slide open, it's like... It's awful. It's awful.
So your favorite anime getting footage that you can only see on a pachinko parlor, that's a threat. It could happen to your series. But yeah, Kaori's having this nightmare right now, and she wakes up with a start and immediately calls for Ryo.
Well, she's calling out for Ryo because in her dream, after Makimura's taken 5 bullets in the back, she rolls him over, and it's not Makimura's face anymore, it's Ryo's face. We've done this sort of Jedi, you go down into the cave trial thing, and then you find out, oh, it's my own face. Only it's not her own face.
But really
Ryo's.
what it is that it's the transference of the important person in her life. That she starts off dreaming about her brother, but now it's become this thing of now she's worrying about the same fate befalling Ryo.
Right, exactly.
Now, while all this is happening across town, completely, seemingly unrelated to this, we see Umibozu going up into a high-rise building because apparently somebody has summoned him there.
I'm just kind of surprised that Umibozu just walked into that. Maybe he really thought it was for something else. I don't know what he thought it was for.
Well, okay, so we'll spell this out for you. So Umibozu, we figure, got some kind of a summons, a text message. I mean, they didn't have text messages in 87, but you figure somebody called
88
him.
by now.
Or, I'm sorry, you're right, 88.
Maybe he got a pager message. Yeah.
Does Umibozu even have a pager?
I don't know. I don't know that we see anybody use a beeper in this entire show.
Well, you know what? Let's not worry about it. Point being, he's here at this building, and he gets buzzed in by this very pretty-looking secretary, oh, Mr. Umibozu, you're right on time. Go right on in. And he goes into this room completely barren. Nothing's in there.
Nice padded room, though. But yeah, they just lock him in there. He tries to shove his shoulders into the door, but there's no getting out.
It's a steel-reinforced door.
It's a steel-reinforced door, but it's also got nice padding on the other side. He's not gonna bust his way through it.
And then, that scene in The Matrix when Neo goes to bust out Morpheus?
Yeah.
So this is like that, except it's not Neo. This is the bad guys, and they're here to make sure that Umibozu is not alive.
So one wall is entirely just window, and on the other side of that window is a helicopter.
Yeah, an attack helicopter with somebody on a chain gun, and they're just blasting.
Blah, 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 blah.
We get the impression that it's very hard to dodge all of these bullets, and to finish things off, the dude on the chain gun throws in a grenade for good measure and just blows the floor, and we get this artsy shot of blood splattering. We don't see where it came from. We are to infer as the audience that blood has been drawn. And, you zoom out, you see this high rise and the, close to the top of the building is on fire, and there's smoke coming out of there, and these guys are real happy with the job they've done.
Gee, hope that lady's okay.
Oh, she left already.
Oh, I know.
Because, I don't know if you figured this out, she's in on it.
What?
Yes.
No.
And we know things are really, really intense right now. So we're gonna take it back. We need to remind you guys there's the little bit of comedy in this episode. So we're gonna let Ryo be perverted for a second. Here, Ryo, take this dirty magazine, do something with the magazine.
He's just gonna look at it, and he's just gonna laugh at it. He's got a dumb face. Because of course he has a dumb face.
He's just giggling to himself, like, boobs.
But meanwhile, Kaori's just like, well, I'm just making breakfast, Whenever you want to eat breakfast, I'm making some kind of nice breakfast.
What you got for me today?
Ham and eggs. Oh, that's actually a decent breakfast. What's wrong with you? I had a bad dream. Well, what does the bad dream have to do with ham and eggs? Just like, nothing. I want to talk about it, except I do want to be nice to you right now. What does that mean?
Yeah, because she's not communicating to Ryo what the bad dream was. She's just saying she had a bad dream, and as a result, now she wants to, as she just said, treat him nice. So I'm wondering where that comes from, because I know I've had a lot of bad dreams. Very intense, very realistic. If it's a big enough dream for you to remember when you wake up, sometimes, yeah, it'll affect the way you go about your day. Like if you, say, had a dream about a certain somebody being hurt or killed or something like that, then next day you might think, I better call him.
Yeah.
Or, go spend some time with him or say hi, something to that effect.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
Okay, so that should be enough levity for right now. Now let's get back to the drama of the episode. So now we're out at the docks, right? And we're looking at this one particular boat.
The Ease Falcom boat, which we have seen before, which again, obviously that's a reference to to the video game franchise Ys and the developers Nihon Falcom. So these guys were very interested in the original game. The first release was Ys 1, Ancient Ys Vanished, which came out June 21st, 1987. So obviously that was published during the first season of City Hunter.
So the animators or the writers had time to be like, hey, have you played this game? Yeah, man, it's really cool. Hey, you know how we put the name on the boat? Let's put it back on there. We can't do that. It's the finale. No, it's fine. We already did it once. They didn't say anything.
Well, they don't even need to put the name on the boat again. They just need to use literally the exact same shot of the boat. They're just literally reusing animation. That's all they're doing. And they were like, we also really liked Ys, so why not show it again? That's how much we liked it.
And you're thinking about the one or two nerds in Japan that were watching City Hunter, and they're like, oh, I played that game. I played that boat. That's a nice boat.
That boat.
That's a nice boat.
Nice boat. That's a reference to a totally different anime, and the boat wasn't even actually in the anime, but that's a totally different story.
That's a story for another time. So right now we're going to talk about a completely different anime, Record of Lodos Mafia. No, but we are here to introduce you guys to our villains for the episode, the two guys and the secretary that we just saw trying to take out Umibozu. They collectively are referred to as the Lodos Mafia.
Lodos, I guess. It's Lodos with one S, and not the two S's like Lodos War.
Was it not two?
In this show? No.
No, you're right. It's one S. That's me. That's my bad.
Okay, whatever.
So the Lodos Mafia is a set of siblings here, and they wait a really long time to give us the names, but we're going to spell it out for you guys now. So the sister is named Denai, the blonde brother is named Zabo, and the brunette, kind of older looking one, who I assume is the eldest one, his name is Geruma.
I am never going to remember any of these names. It's not going to matter after the next week's episode, so...
You're not going to remember them 5 minutes from now.
No, probably not. Although Denai, because you decided to make a bunch of jokes about her name. D-E-N-A-I.
Pronounced as such, Denai.
Denai, yeah. Her I'll remember, because you wouldn't stop making Denai jokes.
Deny.
See?
And that's how you knew I grew up in the 90s. In any case, they are here planning their next piece of their grand movement right now. The first piece was getting rid of Umibozu, which they seem to have done.
Or at least they think they have.
Shh. But for right now, they think the next move is we have to take out City Hunter. And we have done our homework. We know who City Hunter is. We've even got his professional headshots in this slideshow.
They have a lot of really good photos of him. Some of them you think, okay, maybe they took this photo at a distance at a park or something. And then others are just like, he's posing.
Yeah, no, like the first one, like he's there like James Bond at the beginning of the movie posing with his gun. Or some of these are real tight shots. They look like headshots.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know City Hunter was looking for representation in Hollywood.
Or just any talent agency in and around the Tokyo area. In any case, they're like, well, he's really good, but everybody's got a weakness, and we know his, and it's his lady friend, and that's Kaori. And maybe Ryo doesn't even know that that's his weakness right now, but everybody else seems to already know it.
Well, because it's one of those things that if you're there watching, and this happens even in a couple of episodes here within this first season of even to people who don't know their relationship, just spending just the littlest amount of time with them, you can see like, okay, so there's something between you two, right? Like, what's your deal? And I don't know if Ryo, it's too close to him for him to realize.
It's so close
that it's that obvious.
It's so close in front of his nose that he can't focus on it.
Like he can't see the forest for the trees. Like he knows he's trying to protect her, but he may not realize that he wants to protect her because he has feelings.
Or at least that's part of it.
Right.
But other people are aware of it, and that includes, it is Saiko's sister, right?
Yeah, Reika. Yeah. We're getting to that here. So we'll go ahead and go back to the apartment. Kaori's like, well, we don't have any jobs today. I'm gonna just go shopping real quick. And then this car just pulls up real hard on the curb next to her, and then just grabs her and pulls her in the car and takes off.
So you're meant to be led to believe, oh man, they moved on Kaori fast.
And thankfully, Ryo wasn't that far behind, so he's like, oh, hell no. Gets in the Mini and gives chase. And they go all the way out to a warehouse. You know, he like cop rolls out the car. All right, get out of the car, don't move. And sure enough, yeah, it's Reika, Sayako's little sister.
Reika's just like, great, we got you out of the building and we knew the one thing that would make you do that, and it's because you care about Kaori and you had to go and chase her and find her. And he's like, what? No! Deny.
Exactly. And Kaori's getting a little pissed this week because obviously she's really thinking about her relationship with Ryo right now because of the dream.
Right.
And so she hits him with the hammer like, oh, so you're not concerned about me? Ass.
No, for real, we got something to tell you. Why don't you come on inside this abandoned building?
Also, my sister's here. And Ryo's like, Sayako, okay, well, what's the deal? What is it you want me to do for free?
Again.
And she's like, all right, check out this mansion just off over in the distance. We need to go in there tonight. There's a masquerade ball, but it's really a cover for a really expensive drug deal, and we got to get up in that mess.
Yeah.
And so Ryo figures, okay, this is a bodyguard mission, fine.
But Kaori has decided, I don't want to see him get into any more danger, because I just had this dream and I'm feeling real bad right now, and even though he does this all the time, like, maybe he shouldn't keep getting into trouble like this. Also, hey Sayako, why are you having him do this when you have the police department to do this? What are you doing?
Like,
Which
she's
actually, I think that's a fair question.
Well, yeah, she's making a good point. Why right now? Because if this is an official thing, like, you're aware of this, why aren't you calling Vice Squad to come deal with this drug situation? Why do you need City Hunter?
I just thought it was funny that after that, Kaori turns to Ryo and is like, hey, you've got all these IOUs from her, and she's never paid up on any of them. You don't need that kind of hate in your life. And just tries to drag him away, and at first it works. Like, he just goes along with it.
To kind of paraphrase, it's kind of that line from Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. She's never once paid up for sex. Not once. But as they're leaving, Reika has to go ahead and spill the beans like, oh wait, but this is dealing with the Lotus Mafia, and your brother was looking into him. Oops. I shouldn't have said that.
You know she just let it slip on purpose, though.
And Psycho's over there like, Reika, good job. Like, you know they were both in on that.
I mean...
They had to have had a conversation.
That's not what Psycho says, but, like...
But you know her.
She is pretty manipulative.
I would bet money that they had a conversation like, hey, I'm going to tell them straight up what the deal is. If they look like they're going to bounce, Reika, go ahead and spill the beans and we'll make it look like it was an accident.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't put that past her for a second. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that's enough to stop both Ryo and Kaori in their tracks because you've mentioned the sore elephant in the room of we are still
The sore elephant?
Well, it's a sore spot and the elephant in the room. It's a sore elephant.
Now the elephant is sore? Oh, that makes me real sad.
Yeah, the elephant's like, oh, I miss
No!
No! I can't make the noise. Oh, God. Now it's on tape now. Well, it's not really tape. It's
not
digital,
a tape.
But...
It's not a tape. What are you doing?
Point being...
You're still living in the 80s. It's not a tape.
Well, we're in 88 right now.
No, we're not.
But the podcast, the show...
is in 2022.
About 1988.
Stop this madness.
So yeah, both of them immediately perk up at the mention of Makimura. Ryo asks, okay, well, Kaori, I'm not stupid. What do you want to do about this? And because it's tied to the people that her brother was investigating, she's like, all right, just this once, but that's it.
Yeah, but they've got to get dressed up for like a big old party, because there's a big old party happening in this mansion. There's like a masquerade, although not everybody's wearing a mask. I don't know.
Well, they're these real thin masks. Like, it's barely even a masquerade.
Well, again, not everybody's even wearing them, so it doesn't really make any sense. A lot of the women are. Ryo doesn't. Ryo doesn't wear a mask. Anyway, so Reika and Sayako are like, alright, we're all gonna go in there, and we're gonna get all cat burglared up for whatever the hell our plan is.
But first off, we have to actually get in the door. But in order to get in the door, they're only accepting couples to this masquerade. So we got a couple up here. So Ryo, you're paired up with Reika, and Sayako, well, I'm obviously more feminine. That means Kaori, by default, you have to be my date. And they've got her in this, like, sky blue salmon tuxedo combo.
And Kaori is very upset because she just keeps getting put into dude clothes. And she does not want to be seen as a dude. As
the anime tells us, she is very masculine passing, but that's not how she wants to present.
Yeah.
Clearly in this episode, that's getting to her. Because once they make their way inside to the ball, everybody kind of splits off because, yeah, like you said, Sayako and Reika want to go do cat burglar stuff to go and find the drug deal. But Ryo's gone off to chase Tail, and Kaori's just chilling by herself in the corner.
And she has a cat friend. Somebody just let Kaori have a pet, please, because she keeps making friends with these animals. And this cat out of nowhere comes up to her and just meows at her and starts rubbing at her ankles, and she's just like, oh, what an adorable little kitty. But of course that's gonna make her look more attractive to the ladies in the room.
Like she's that meme that you always see of the dude in the corner.
Yeah.
In this case, it's, they don't know I'm here thinking about my dead brother. But yeah, like 5 women who are at this party on the hunt see Kaori off in the corner with this adorable cat, and they're like, oh, that's dancing material right there.
Yeah, I want to dance with this guy. But Kaori's got to be like, why can't you tell I'm not a guy? And all of the ladies
all 5
are just
of them.
like, oh. So?
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm flipping tonight. That doesn't matter. Like, let's go.
All these women are at least bi. At least.
At minimum. Like, Cowdy does it to him. Cowdy make you flip faster than those people on HGTV.
But that does just say Kaori's actually a really attractive person.
I know.
To everybody? To everybody.
To everybody. So, like, we know because of the story being told around Cowdy with all these other characters, Ryo is clearly lying. And we're going to see more of that here in this episode.
Yeah.
But we just need a real quick update. Did Umibozu live through that thing at the building?
Yeah, he did. It was during that part where Kaori initially got quote-unquote kidnapped, and Ryo had gone off to chase her down. And so Umibozu has woken up from the rubble
of this building.
Like, he wakes up the next morning like, oh, it's already daylight. Well, gotta go. And then goes to a payphone and tries to call Ryo like, hey, Ryo, something's up. Ah, damn, he's not answering the phone. This is a problem.
And then he just passes out there on the street.
Yeah.
He's trying to call as he's giving chase to follow Reika, but he doesn't know it's Reika yet.
Right.
Great. So we got that. Let's go ahead and go back to the party. So Geruma and Zabo are talking to themselves. They're up in a higher part of this ballroom, looking down on the guests below, and see that, Ryo's chasing around at least 10 women, getting rejected by all of them. They're like, ha, looks like our intel on City Hunter was correct. He also has a weakness for ladies. And that's where Denai is seen putting on some special lipstick, being like, all right, guess that's my cue, and then uses a napkin
to blot,
blot off her lipstick and just leaves it on the ground. And so, like, unfortunately, the cute little cat that Cowdy was just holding on to?
This cat is real attracted by the smell of this lipstick and then kind of takes a lick at it. And then you hear off screen, you hear it go, and then you look at it and it's tweaking out and probably dying. And I'm just... I don't know why we needed to see that. I know they wanted to illustrate it can kill. I wish they had just said, oh, that lipstick will kill him.
Well, it's the whole thing of show, don't tell.
I know.
In media, which makes sense, but at the same time, that was a really cute little cat.
I know. I mean, like, at least this isn't film and that wasn't a real cat. Man, they're so mean to cats. The episode where Makimura dies, too. Like, before he dies, the guy who kills him just has this dead cat out in the middle of the road, too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This
God,
show,
you have to remind me about that.
The show does things to cats, and I'm so upset about it.
Oh, man, now I feel bad.
Yeah, thanks, Sunrise.
In any case, Denai is getting ready to spring this trap on Ryo, and she's got quote-unquote the trap set, because she's got this super low-cut dress, real good pixie cut hair, makeup's done up, so immediately she steps to Ryo, and Ryo's with it already, because he's been macking on everybody this whole night. Finally somebody accepts, and he doesn't even question it, which, if I was Ryo,
I'd be like, huh, that's weird. Somebody said yes.
But of course this is Ryo, so he's like, oh, finally someone said yes. And he's basically repeating the same lines on everyone. I'm so happy that I got to meet you tonight. It was fate that we spend this evening together. And she's like, yeah, hey, check out my lipstick. You want to try it?
And Ryo's very much like, yes, but meanwhile, Kaori is still running away from these ladies who really want to dance with her.
Like Scooby-Doo ducking them.
She has to go and hide behind a door. You see her eyeballs looking out from behind this door like,
just bug-eyed.
Oh my god, this stampede of women. So she thinks that she's lost them. Mind you, while she's lost them, hey, who's that over there? Oh, it's Ryo with some lady. I'm gonna go be jealous for some reason that I don't even know why I'm doing this. But I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna go step on this lady's dress. Why did I just do this?
Well, yeah, because they are about to kiss. Denai and Ryo are like this close. And then that's when,
It's audio, so you cannot see how close this close is, but it's pretty close.
And her stepping on Denai's dress means Ryo can't fully connect, and so unwittingly, she has just saved Ryo's life.
I wish Ryo knew that she just saved his life, because then maybe he would have appreciated her more, because, he'll never appreciate it. He will never understand that Kaori just saved his ass.
And so since she's done this, Kaori tries to play it off like, oh, my bad, that was an accident. Oh, you guys were about to do something? Go ahead, don't worry about me. Denai realizes that this isn't a good opportunity anymore, and she's like, well, now I'm not in the mood.
Well, I think that's kind of weird, because she could have just done it, because Ryo was still very much going to be like, I don't care what the mood is, I'm going to kiss this lady. But maybe it's that if she did it right then and there, then Kaori would have seen, oh, he would have just dropped dead right in front of her, and then she would have known who killed him. So maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, so that was kind of smart. And Ryo was like, no, come back, you're so hot, please, you're such a hot woman. And this gets Kaori really perturbed, like, hey, come on, I'm a fine woman. What about me?
And you could really take this one of two ways, if not both ways. Both of which being, one, she's got feelings for Ryo that she hasn't fully settled on yet, which I'm sure is very true. But also, after a certain point, you're just like, man, I wish somebody, whether it's Ryo or not, would, actually acknowledge me as the kind of person that I want to present myself as, because I do definitely believe that I am an attractive person, and this guy who's macking on everybody is not acknowledging this thing that I genuinely believe to be true. Whether or not she has feelings for him, I think it would get kind of frustrating after a while to just feel like, well, he's just being kind of shitty to you.
So here we see that Kaori does something really for herself, which
Yeah.
I really appreciate here. So she goes and finds the dressing room here at the masquerade ball, and she sees that there's just implements lying around. There's makeup, there's jewelry, there's other dresses.
And wigs.
And she's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing myself up right now. And she gets changed real quick, comes back out, and she looks amazing. She is here to slay. She's in this really high-cut dress.
She stops the room. Just the whole room stops. Like, Ryo's about to kiss this lady again, and he does not understand that for a second time, Kaori has just saved his life, because he hears the room go into hushed whispers, and he decides, excuse me, ma'am, I'm chasing after the lady that the entire room wants.
Because think about this, Ryo, as has been presented this entire show, will generally take the woman that is right in front of him, usually.
Yeah.
There is very few cases where he thinks he can trade up. Because that's never an opportunity for him. But right now, as Kaori has come out into this room with this longer hair, showing off the legs that the animators have given her this week, and the dress, and the lipstick, and the really tiny mask that they gave her, immediately entranced. I gotta go over here now. I'll holler at you later. Or maybe not at all, because I'm going for the bigger, better deal.
He's kind of an asshole.
So I will venture this question now. Did he know? Does he know that that's her in disguise and he's just playing it off?
I kind of wondered myself. Because they go and they sit together, and Ryo's hitting on her. He's using the same language that he uses.
Yeah, he's
on
spitting the same
everybody.
game. He didn't change tactics.
And Kaori's like, okay, fine, we'll spend time together, but only if you marry me. And at first, Ryo, reels back, marriage? But this is not the first time that a woman has been like, oh, Ryo, I actually fell for you and I want to marry you. And Ryo hates that idea. He runs away all the time once he actually gets them and they want to commit.
Well, not all the time. Like the case with the nun recently?
Yeah.
Or, no, the case before that with the widow. When he thought the widow was taking him to church to get married, he was actually okay with that. But
I don't think when it was the widow, I think part of him knew, oh, we're not actually gonna get married, and so he's playing into this joke and being flirty and stuff.
But I think there's a very fine line here where I'm not sure how much of it is for comedy in terms of he knows what's going on, or comedy just for we see him working through something real quick just so he can make sure to get Mokkori.
I'm just saying he actually said, yes, let's get married. Although, at the same time, he is fighting his own instincts because he's still nervous about it and he's sweating through it as he's saying it.
Right.
So,
as soon as he does say yes, Kaori starts giggling to herself and she's like, gotcha, bitch, you've been catfished. It's me.
Rips the wig off.
It's me, Ryo. It was me all along. And Ryo flips the hell out. Kaori? It was you? And he immediately goes into, oh crap, I was just spitting my best game at her. Mind you, it's the same game. And now I know who it was. Two things are happening in his mind right now. It's got to be one or the other, I figure. It's either, crap, I don't want her to know that I meant it and that I knew it was her. Or even then, even if it's not that, crap, I admitted that I find you attractive. I have to backpedal as hard as I can.
And he does. He backpedals real hard like, you just wasted my time. I was about to get some with this other lady. Now I gotta go find her for a third time. And Kaori is very upset about this.
And gets him with the 100-ton hammer.
Gets that hammer out again. It's a thing she does a lot.
And now she goes back to the dressing room and changes back into the tux. Then she's just kind of looking at her reflection in the mirror, sees Ryo in the reflection, and it's just like, oh, stupid Ryo. And it's like, how do you take that?
Well, because, again, I think it could be two things. One, she's really disappointed that this person that she might have feelings for is just kind of being an ass. And then two, like, she's trying really hard to just get this dude to just at least acknowledge that she's not ugly. Just try not to be an asshole to me for a second. It's either, please be nice to me, or just don't be an asshole to me. Like, it's one of those.
Like, see me the way I want you to see me.
Yeah.
Which, come on, everybody wants that. Everybody deserves that.
Sure, it's just a matter of whether or not you believe at this point that's for romantic reasons or not.
But even then, unfortunately, we have to get back to the plot of the episode. So while she's waiting here in the dressing room, Denai comes up behind her with some, like, piano wire and something and strangles her.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Reika and Psycho have been trying to sneak in and check out the drug bust, but they got caught. So now everybody's being held hostage, and Ryo's being escorted outside by Zabo with a sawed-off shotgun like, we need to take this outside.
So Ryo sees everybody's all tied up in different locations around the mansion, and Ryo's like, well, this isn't gonna work out the way you think it's gonna work out.
And Zabo's like, oh, you don't think so? And then takes a shot at him with the shotgun, and somehow, at almost point-blank range, Ryo dodged the shotgun.
He's just that good at it.
And so Footsteps starts playing, and a gunfight ensues between Zabo and Ryo, and it's not looking real good because neither one of them can seem to get a clean shot off, and it's really hard to dodge the shotgun in that close quarters, and Ryo needs some kind of help right now.
Well, thank God, here comes Umibozu. He's coming in from all the way back in the back room. He's brought his money in the bank, and
he's cashing in. And he's cashing out the three guys that are holding Sayako and Reika. Headshot, headshot, headshot.
Yeah, he's shooting some of these people in the face, like, they've lived somehow, but this one guy, like, he gets shot and he goes, ah, and he grabs his face, like,
as he goes down.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's rowdy. But mind you, Umibozu is hurt, so he can't do more than that.
Well, he gave him just enough to allow Ryo to live. Unfortunately, that's all he could do, because, not much more past that actually happens.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ryo is only able to disarm Zabo, not Gabo. Gabo was that stupid puppet from that one episode of The Simpsons. But no, all three of them, Denai, Geruma, and Zabo, all get away in a helicopter, and they've still got Kaori hostage.
Did they leave Sayako and Reika?
Yeah, because Umibozu took out their guards.
Yeah, that's right. But no, they took off with Kaori, so that's not good. But they take off real far, and at a certain point, Ryo knows he cannot hit their helicopter with his gun, but he just fires anyway, because you can tell he's just frustrated.
Like, that's the first time we've seen him shoot in anger.
Yeah, just wasting a bullet because he's upset.
And the whole series has shown you he's such an excellent marksman, he doesn't waste ammo.
Yeah.
So this means something. So right here, that's where the episode ends. Get Wild is playing, Kaori is not safe, Umibozu is passed out, and Ryo is pissed.
He mad. Does he know why he mad? I'm not sure if he understands why he mad. Men don't understand their own feelings. That's a blanket generalization. Like, don't come at me later. This is blanket for a joke, but it's not everyone. It's just Ryo. It's Ryo.
But no, here at the end of the episode, we can see we're starting to explore for sure here in this episode, what do these two mean to each other?
Yeah.
Because clearly, why would Kaori go to such lengths to try and get Ryo's attention? And why is Ryo trying as hard as he is to save Kaori? Is it only because he made a promise to a dying Makimura, or has it developed into something more serious?
Ooh.
Somebody's got a crush.
But this is a two-parter, and the next episode is the last episode of the season, and that's kind of crazy.
You know, Ryo's gonna jump in and try and save her. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to do this.
There's not a whole heck of a lot of comedy coming the next episode. Like, this is the season finale. We're super serious about what's happening right now, and it's gonna be a fully loaded episode.
Yeah, and so that's gonna be heavy in and of itself. I really appreciate that we got a lot of meat in this episode for just how the attraction between the two of them is being built right now.
Yeah, that we finally get some character development and not just, I like the episodic nature well enough, but at a certain point you're just like, man, when do these two grow as people?
Right, exactly.
And finally we get to that. And then once this season ends, season 2 explores that even harder.
Yes.
So that's an exciting thing to look forward to.
And so it's like, yeah, there's only so much you can hide about why you find a person attractive or how attractive a person is to you in general. Like, what does that mean? Like, just because a person is attractive to you doesn't necessarily mean you're pursuing them the way you would somebody romantically versus somebody casually. Whereas everybody can be casual to Ryo. With Kaori, there is very much the possibility of that going even further.
That's true. That is very true.
So yeah, next week, we're going to see if he can get Kaori back.
Well, I mean, there's several more seasons, so you can make an assumption. But will he?
Dun, dun, dun.
So anyway, come back next time when we cover the 51st episode of the TV series, The Deadliest Enemy, Ryo and Kaori's Final Match, Part 2.
And if you want to catch us outside this podcast, you can always find us both over on Twitter. I'm at Josh Knight First.
And I'm at Mars Girl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 50th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode...
I'm gonna have to save Caitlin from the Mafia.
Wait, what?
Yeah, somehow it's not the Yakuza.